Clerk, may you confirm if you have quorum?
Yes, we have quorum.
Proceed to read order of the day.
HOMA Bay County Assembly, Third Assembly, Fourth Session, Orders of the Day, Tuesday, 11th March 2025 at 9:30 a.m. Order of Business, Order number 1, Administration of Oath.
Proceed.
Order number 2, Communication from the Chair.
Proceed.
Order number 3, Messages.
Proceed.
Order number 4, Petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, Papers.
Honorable Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Tuesday, 11th March 2025.
Thank you, Honorable Majority Leader. Proceed to lay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair, Education.
Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Tuesday. Report of the Education, Human Capital Development and Vocational Training.
To lay.
Order number 6, Notices of Motion. Order number 6, Notices of Motion.
Mayor Elijah Ogodo Munga for appointment to the position of Mayor Elijah Ogodo Munga for appointment to the position of
Clerk, next order.
Order number 7, Statements of Topical Concern.
Proceed.
Order number 8, of Youth, Sports, Talent Development, Cultural Heritage and
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, on the report on appointment, allow me it is like it is a 60-page report, Mr. Speaker, but I'll try to go through it very fast. And Mr. Speaker, now because by 12:30 we are supposed to be done with the 2 reports. And Mr. Speaker, as may I take this opportunity to thank all members of the Committee on Appointment for their input and valuable contributions during the deliberations. The committee also takes this opportunity to thank the officers of the Speaker and the Clerk, to the County Assembly of HOMA Bay for the logistical support accorded to it during the exercise. We are also appreciative of the Secretariat attached to this committee for their effectiveness and efficiency throughout the entire exercise and the preparation of this report. Now, on behalf of the Committee on Appointment and pursuant to the provisions of Section 35 of the County Governments Act 2012, as I read together with County Government Amendments Act 2020 and Standing Order number 42, it is my pleasure and duty to present to the County Assembly the committee's of Engineer Elijah Ogodo Munga, nominee to the position of CCA. This report was adopted by not notification and procedure of nomination, I'm requesting that members may go through, Mr. Speaker. Notification to the House and referral to the Committee on Appointment. Mr. Speaker, this was done in a broad daylight, and members may go through with those who are not here. Mr. Speaker, on notification to the public, its committees. Now, Mr. Speaker, further section 7(4) it has been nominated, and notify the public of the time and place for holding, particularly the Daily Nation on 27 Approval Act 2017-80 and the Investment Director.
The nominee, Honorable Speaker, we established that there was no potential conflict of interest. Honorable Speaker, on the same chapter 6, on the dignity of scored above the pass mark. On the communications presentation, Honorable Speaker, is scored above the pass mark, Honorable Speaker. I believe if accorded the opportunity, Honorable Speaker, if this House, Honorable Speaker, can approve the appointment of Engineer Elijah Ogodo Omonga, Honorable Speaker, then we believe he'll serve and give his potential, Honorable Speaker, to the Kenyan citizens, more so to the Homa Bayans. With those, Honorable Speaker, I rise to second and implore on member. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Whip. Honorable members, the report having been ably read by our majority leader, Honorable read by our majority leader, Honorable Richard Ogendo, and ably seconded by our Chief Whip Majority, Honorable Bobo Bondo. I therefore now propose the question that the Department of Youth, Sports, Talent Development Services, the question is proposed, but I want to give direction on how to request.
We are discovering today in the department of somebody who went to school well. Mr. Speaker, is somebody who went to school from village, whereby he attended a local primary school, proceeded to Orio Secondary School, and up to University, Mr. Speaker, where he attended his bachelor education, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm aware and very pretty sure that Engineer Munga is equally qualified to take this position, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, a lot of issues usually engulf several people, especially on integrity. But when we look at what Engineer Munga provided, Mr. Speaker, this is somebody that did pass the integrity test. Engineer has never been convicted. Engineer that he's given to undertake, Mr. Speaker. If you go back to the background, is somebody who is highly respected within the community. Even to the neighboring community by supporting some development projects within the village. He even did well by even supporting needy students to attain education, Mr. Speaker. These are some of the reasons I want to agree with members. As for what the appointment committee has denoted here well, Mr. Speaker, I don't see any form of ambivalence in this, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would therefore implore and request this honorable House members, let us support this and adopt this so that engineer can be given opportunity to serve us in this department, Mr. Speaker. Otherwise, thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Odongo. Honorable Yvonne Becky.
Good morning, Honorable Speaker, and my fellow colleagues. Allow me to take this opportunity also to congratulate the panel, the Committee of Appointment, for a very well-written report and very straight and very intellectual. I want also to want to be part of this team who wants to support this report, because I was in the chamber when the interview was taking place, the vetting was taking place, Honorable Speaker. And I want to say it clearly that what all the things the appointee put across in the vetting process are the exactly things which are in the report, Honorable Speaker. And I want to attest to the fact that when he entered this place, Honorable Speaker, I just don't know why my mind was in the same thing which the Honorable Majority Leader echoed, that immediately he entered this place, Honorable Speaker. It's true you can know a leader. And above all, Honorable Speaker, you can identify a leader even the way they put on in their dress, Honorable Speaker. When Honorable Munga entered here, Speaker, I want to attest and say, Honorable Speaker, in this Honorable House, that if it's not the best amongst the appointments we've done, is one amongst the best, Honorable Speaker. Why am I saying this? Education is surely an equalizer of all time. And this man has gotten brains. I want to thank Her Excellency for bringing brains in this house, even as role models for the young people to understand the reason why education is the best and can drive away poverty among our people. In the CV, in the report we've gotten, Honorable Speaker, the engineer gave back to the community. The reason why I'm supporting the appointment of this nominee is because the people he gave back to was the young people. Honorable Speaker, this county takes approximately 800,000 young people. Majority of them are also jobless. And we understand when he was working at the UN, the other places he was working, he got back home and supported their people through giving back to the community and taking people back to school. I have a testimony of 3 young girls who dropped out of school, and Engineer Munga took them back to school, Honorable Speaker. I am supporting the appointment of this nominee specifically because of giving back to the young people. And now we believe that for the first time again, we have a vibrant young person who is going to bring back to the young people, bring policies in this house which are going to make the young people stand big in this county of endless potential. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I support fully the appointment of the nominee. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Yvonne Becky. Honorable Awedi.
Oh, thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity for me also to add my voice on what is being discussed on the floor. Honorable Speaker, from the onset, I want to support the adoption of this report. That is the appointment of the nominee, Honorable Speaker. If you look at, that is from the nomination, Honorable Speaker, the Public Appointment Act 2017, Honorable Speaker, under county government approval, Honorable Speaker, all the legal formalities have been followed, Honorable Speaker. Spoke before me. If you look at the nominee, is a man of high integrity. himself, the person in the nominee, is overqualified. And for the first time again, we want to thank Her Excellency for nominating a young person, a youthful person, to take in charge the docket of the young people. I really want to thank Her Excellency for that, and also the entire leadership, Honorable Speaker, for considering that the matters of the young people, the problems of the young people, can only be sorted out by a young person. Honorable Speaker, our young people are going through a lot. That is the youths in general. They are going through unemployment issues and so many other things, Honorable Speaker. Even heartbreaks, Honorable Speaker. There's this local artist, in quotes, who sang Serotech, Honorable Speaker. You know, as Her Excellency, again, and say that this morning, Honorable Speaker, when I was coming to the Assembly, as a servant of the people, I was tasked this morning, and they told me, young people in that department. With those few remarks, thank you.
It was splendid. There were many members in the public gallery. And I think, thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Monoflori.
I excused myself out a bit, but I don't really want to talk about his professionalism because we all know he's an engineer. And I also just want to say that the nominee is up to the task. I believe he's going to do the work. And I have seen our two youths really supporting this. And the youths, I want to say that you also have a task to help the nominee work actively. Because I can remember some time back in 2023, a very young girl, should I say, I don't know whether I can call her young mother, a girl of class 3 was brought to this assembly by her mother that she had conceived. And she was such a small girl, nobody could believe it. I went through, asking the mother how it happened. And right now, I just believe that I made an error. Should I have contacted the two of you, I think this thing could have gone further than where it reached. I just want to encourage my colleagues who are in the House that when we come across such a thing, let us give it to the youths so that they can take the matter, because those are their equals and they can, tackle the matter much better than us because they feel it. And that is their mandate, and that's why they are here. Otherwise, I want to say that I want to implore my colleagues, let us pass this report and ensure that Engineer Munga, a very bright man, gets the post that he has applied for. Otherwise, thank you so much.
Thank you, Deputy Majority Leader, Honorable Florence HOMA.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. I would like to start by supporting the adoption of this report, Honorable Speaker. I want to thank the Committee on Appointments for a job well done. Honorable Speaker, I happen to have had the privilege of sitting in this assembly when the vetting process was on. And Honorable Speaker, having been a commissioner, I am very much alive to the fact that appointments to these positions don't only need academic qualifications, maybe regional balance or any other thing, but there are other factors, Honorable Speaker, that really contribute to appointment of such people. Honorable Speaker, I want to join my colleagues who have reiterated that education being a great equalizer, we have appointed, the Constitution and the County Government Act clearly stipulates the requirements, the academic requirements. But Honorable Speaker, what really attracts me to this person
is that this engineer is homegrown, Honorable Speaker. Homegrown in a manner that they went to a local primary school, local secondary school, and maybe it's the university that they went away, and then still came back. Also, and what I have read is he is serving as a chairman of one of the institutions, one of the schools in his area, Honorable Speaker. What this appointment is good to the youths out there, to the children out there, to those who are going in school, in this local school. Then they say, so we have a future ahead of us. If this particular person is appointed as CEC, and this particular person is an engineer, this particular person went to this local primary school, this person went to this local secondary school, then it urges the others that let one day at a time, one step at a time, let us also just continue going to school so that we serve as examples, so that in future we will also have an opportunity to serve in such positions, Honorable Speaker. That alone is a consolation to me, Honorable Speaker. And then he's also averagely young. Yesterday, I was at a function where I had the Honorable Majority Leader urging people not to be pulling out the youth card in looking for something, which I really agree. But we need that energy in that department, Honorable Speaker. If he brings it with other things, then I'm sure the department will be more vibrant. Otherwise, I support the adoption. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Florence. Honorable Ojango.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for granting me the opportunity also to say something about the nominee. I would start by, I knew him before he became somebody a community could talk about. Just the way honorable members have talked about him. He has a philanthropic heart. He's a man who will not be seated while somebody is suffering somewhere. So this is a man who deserves to have income, because the society will gain in one way or the other, because he's not an extreme capitalist. He's a man who's ready to share whatever little he has with those people who are vulnerable economically. Based on that, I want to support that he should be given this position so that others also gain. Also, in the youth ministry, he's still very energetic and strong. Even when he's walking, you see energetic man talking and walking. And sport requires such energy. Based on that, I want to implore the honorable members who have positively talked and who are going to talk after me to accept the nomination of Honorable Engineer Munga. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Ojango. Honorable Jessica, did I see your buzzer? No, Honorable Evelyn.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity granted this morning to enable me air my view. I was not have gone a notch higher to play above the candidate whom they were giving. We are talking about today is equal to the task. One, when you look at him in leadership and integrity, I want to say he's a leader. And the integrity part, issues that can make him be jailed or anything. So in terms of integrity, Mr. Munga has passed according to my thinking. When it comes to giving leaders leadership positions, I want to say that the knowledge that I've just read from the report that has been given by our able clerks, I want to say that Mr. Munga is very much knowledgeable, and he can take care of the Department of Sports. In terms of age, He's going to work with his calibers, and so I want to say that the youths work well when they work together with their age mates, because they are able to reason at that level, that they understand one another with the relevant language, that they more understand others. And this is going to make this department more vibrant for the county. Akan is globally smart. You realize that from the work that this has worked with different bodies in the position of management. This makes him better because even the knowledge one, just as Honorable Florence has spoken, he is a village guy. He's gone to school in the village, that is Oriwo. Oriwo High School is one of the best schools in Homa Bay County, and primary level is also a village person. And when you look at now, when you go to the higher institutions of learning, I want to say that when you hear of the Nairobi University, that is not just a place that is meant for any other person. I believe that with the B+ during that time, the 1980s, it was a real B+. And so when I see the grade and he's been taken there to go and do the civil engineering, I want to tell you that when you talk about the civil engineering that this guy, that the nominee has done, that is a course that when you undergo, you would not even want to go for masters immediately, because it is tiring and it is not very easy to make it. But I want to congratulate him that he made it so well, and even decided to go for another degree, the second degree, where he went to Jomo Kenyatta. That is not just a higher learning institution. It is also one of its own, where where more engineers in these countries, in this our country, has been produced. So I want to say that this guy is going to do wonders in this department. I also want to congratulate the committee for having played better above the candidate. You know, there are times that can really make you sweat, but I want to say that well, from what I'm not around, I was just attending also another very important, so that I could be talking from the point of view. But what I see, the club to help them say that Engineer Ogodo Munga gets the position to serve our people in Homa Bay County, and may God bless him as we are going to give him, or I want to urge the House to join me, let him be the CEC, so that we also give a chance to one of our own, we give a chance to one of the youths, to give a chance to them, so that give us in this country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity granted. I beg.
Hili niweze kuchangia kidogo kuhusu ripoti ambalo limesomwa mbele yetu na kiongozi ya walio wengi, Mheshimiwa. Amesemwa kuhusu kijana mdogo ambaye amepata kuteuliwa wakati wa umma ni kunyenyekea. Amekuwa mnyenyekevu, hayo yote amekuwa ni msomi, kwa kuwa niko na hakika ya kuwa akipewa nafasi ya kufanya kazi, niko na hakika tena ya kuwa atalifanya katika ngazi ya juu sana. Na pia ningependa kusema ya kuwa waheshimiwa wenzangu tuweze kumunga mkono ili apate nafasi ya kufanya kazi nzuri katika jimbo letu la ugatuzi la Homa Bay. Na liunga mkono. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Mogi. Majority Leader.
Now, Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank all my colleagues who have debated and those who have not found time, Mr. Speaker. Just for the interest of time, I think we are moving to the second motion. But, Mr. Speaker, it is like we are going to approve this report. Members, I hope this shows that this assembly is united, and once members are requested, we always do. So, Mr. Speaker, thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable members. I want to thank the members because they have deliberated so well. I put the question that this House adopt the report of Committee on Appointment on the Suitability of Engineer Elijah Ogodo Munga for appointment to the position of County Executive Committee member in charge of Department of Youth, Sports, Talent Development, Cultural Heritage, and Social Services. Will as many as with similar opinions say aye? Aye. Many contrary opinions say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 8, motion. Order number 9, motion. A report of the Education and Vocational Training Committee on the suitability of Mr. Stephen Okeyo Othira for appointment to the position of Chief Officer in charge of the Department of Education and Human Capital Development and Vocational Training.
Thank you, Chair Honorable Molo.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman, Honorable Speaker. Before I present our committee report, may I take this opportunity to congratulate the majority specifically tasked with the vetting of Mr. Stephen opportunity to thank the office of the Speaker and the clerk to the county as Speaker. On behalf of Education, Development and Vocational Training Committee and persons ordered to present to the County Assembly Mr. Speaker, out of 15 members, the report was adopted, the Speaker, may I give the background of this. May I give the background of this? I, the County Public Service Board, and B, with the County Public Service Board, and B, with the approval for appointment as County Chief Officer in charge, for appointment as County Chief Officer in charge and vocational training. Section 3.1 and vocational training. Section 3.1 of the County Assembly Government approve nominees for appointment to the county publication. This was done on the publication. This was done on the February 24th, 2025 by hand for the 24th, 2025 by hand for the Department of Education. Standing orders number of Education. Standing orders number 42 to Mr. Speaker. The nomination of Stephen Okeyo to Mr. Speaker. The nomination of Stephen Okeyo conduct and approve. Conduct and approve. Let me. Mr. Speaker, the committee was directed to conduct an approval hearing and report to the House within 21 sitting. It first appeared pursuant to Section 9(1) of the Public Appointments. Mr. Speaker, Article 196(1) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 provides that a county assembly shall facilitate public participation and business of the Assembly and its committees. Mr. Speaker, Section 7(5) of the Public Appointments Act 2017 provides that the committee shall, by notice in at least one newspaper of the national circulation, notify the public of the time and place for holding an approval hearing at least 7 days prior to the hearing. Mr. Speaker, further, Section 7(10) of the same Act provides that any person may, prior to the by written statement on oath, provide to the clerk with evidence submitted. Pursuant to Section 196(1) and Section 7(5) and 10 of the Public Appointments Act 2017, the clerk of the County Assembly, inviting the public to submit any information, a memorandum, petition that may have a hearing on the vetting and approval of the candidate. The submissions were to be received on or before Wednesday, 5th March 2025 by 5 p.m. Further, the advertisement notified the general public that acted on Wednesday, 5th March 2025 from 9 a.m. Mr. Speaker, notification to the nominees. Section 7(4) of the Public Appointments Act 2017 provides that the clerk shall notify a candidate of the time and place for holding an approval hearing by notice in at least 2 newspapers of national circulation and by writing and such other form of communication as the clerk shall consider appropriate. On the 27th, the clerk of the County Assembly of HOMA Bay invited the nominee through print media for the approval hearing in accordance with Section 7(4), the Public Appointments Act 2017. The committee, through the office of the clerk, wrote to the nominee to collect to the 12th. So, Mr. Speaker, members can see that. Mr. Speaker, I go to the requirement for appointment as a chief officer. For a person to be appointed as chief officer, the person shall, 1, Mr. Speaker, satisfy of Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya, meet the requirements as stipulated by the HOMA Bay in their advertisement, Mr. On page scrutiny of the nominee's credentials. These are legal documents that are required, and members can read it through and see to take note whether they are relevant or not. Mr. Speaker, allow me go to on the 6th March 2025, public appointment, the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approval Act 2017 and the Standing Orders of the County Assembly. He presented as follows. both orally and in writing. Mr. Speaker, the date of birth is as indicated, 13th September 9 in Kabondo, Kasipul, sub-county of, and CERT, Kenya Certificate of Primary Education, in 1988 to 1991. He attended Kanyawanga Secondary School and CERT, Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education, and in 1995 to 1997, he joined me and Certificate Education Trust Kenya and had a Certificate of Proficiency, COP. Mr. Speaker, in the year 2008 to 2012, he joined the University of Nairobi and attained Bachelor degree of Arts in Education. Mr. Speaker, in 2013, he attended a management course at KENI, that is Kenya Education Management Institute, and attained Diploma in Education Management. Mr. Speaker, Kenya Primary Health Association is another body that Mr. Othera belonged to, and he is also an alumni of the University of Nairobi. Employment, Mr. Speaker, I think can be seen by members as indicated in the report on page 15. Mr. Speaker, talking of net worth, Mr. Speaker, the nominee stated that his net worth is 15.5 million. His record of integrity. Mr. Speaker, the nominee is tax compliant, demonstrated in tax clearance certificate, that number dated 12th September 2024, valid for 12 months up to 11th day of September 2025. The nominee provided a filled self-declaration form of leadership and integrity, confirming that there were no outstanding issues or ongoing investigations against him. The form received by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission on the 12th day of September 2024. The nominee has also neither been charged in a court of law nor mentioned in any investigatory report of Parliament or any other commission of inquiry in the last 3 years. The Directorate of Criminal Investigations issued the nomination with a police clearance certificate number that on the 19th day of September 2024, showing the nominee had neither committed offenses or nor has any matter in court. The nominee cleared the loan owed to the Higher Education Loans Board and was issued with a certificate of clearance dated 12th September 2024, valid up to 12th September 2025, serial number that. The nominee has also been cleared by the TransUnion Reference Bureau Limited. Potential conflict, Mr. Speaker. On it, the nominee said he did not see any coming in between him and his perceived duty in this department. Mr. Speaker, the Committee of Observation on the Suitability of the nominee. The committee, having considered the nominee's field questionnaire pursuant to Section 7 of Public Appointment Act 2017, had his oral submission during the approval hearing, made the following observations on his suitability for the appointment as Chief Officer in charge of Human Capital Development and Vocational Training. 1. That in accordance with Section 78 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, the nominee is eligible for appointment since he is a Kenyan citizen born on the 17th September 1973 in Kabondo-Kasipul Sub-County in Homa Bay County. 2, that the nominee was competitively sourced, ever being adversely mentioned in an investigatory report of Parliament or any other commission of inquiry in the last 3 years. 4, that the nominee has a bachelor's degree in and years. 6, that he has years. 6, that he has never been dismissed from office for contravention of laws that are adversely mentioned in investing. 8, which is investing. 8, which is the last one, to the position. In this presentation, that is promptness, precision, and acknowledgement, committee recommendation, Mr. Speaker. Following word that the nominees scored above 50% and demonstrated a strong commitment to adhering to Article 10, 201, and 232 of the Constitution of Kenya, as well as 232 of the Constitution of Kenya, as well as in added advantage with experience. Education, Human Capital Development, and vocational training. Samuel.
Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Mr. Chairman, for... We realize that Mr. Thira answered almost all the... He was also precise in answering the questions and was also to the point. That tells you that surely he's also a teacher. Honorable Speaker, we got time and scrutinized his credentials, and we found that Mr. Thira is a degree holder from the University of Nairobi. Besides that, we also found out that Mr. Thira is a trained teacher who has served as an assistant teacher, deputy head teacher, and a teacher in various schools. That tells you that we have gotten a good administrator. So, Mr. Speaker, you realize even from the score sheet, Mr. Thira scored 87% out of 100. And with that, with the current system of education, we say Mr. Thira exceeded the expectation. It's above average, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to second this motion, and I want to plead with the members that we as the House, we adopt this report for the appointment of Mr. Othira to be the Chief Officer in this department. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, honorable members. The report having effectively presented before this House by Honorable Ruben Molo, who is the chair, and seconded by Honorable Samuel Ogono, I therefore now propose the question that this House adopt the report of the Education and Vocational Training Committee on suitability of Mr. Stephen Othira for the appointment to the position of Chief Officer in charge of Department of Human Capital Development and Vocational Training. The question is proposed. Honorable Becky.
Once again, let me thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me another opportunity to put across my voice on this noble report. I also thank the chair and quotes the James for the well-written report. We also thank the membership and at large the members of this county of endless potential. Honorable Speaker, this county has made a successful story on the Department of Education. I want to take us back a little, Honorable Speaker. It was me and you and other members to do a benchmarking on the state of the vocational training centers, the state of I centers, and brought back a report here in the House, which this county of endless potential headed by the CEO, Honorable Gladys Atieno Nyasuna, and the policy was brought in this House, Honorable Speaker. And today, we have written a very, very successful story on the issue of I centers because this House vetted a brain. Honorable Speaker, one person called Odhiambo Tasker, and I quote, sang, for you, as Honorable Florence always say, that when the head is too sweet, you must know that the tail is extremely sweet too. Honorable Speaker, the school where Mr. Othira was the deputy teacher excelled. I'm saying this not because I come from a constituency he also hails from, but I'm saying this because he's a citizen who has performed so well in his job, Honorable Speaker. The reason why I'm really supporting, when we ask him about the new things he's going to bring on this table, with vocational trainings, with lactating rooms for the mothers, Honorable Speaker. To have a baby, because such kind of things are also going to be in this bunge, so that I can carry my child and come back at home. Trainers are going also to get, when we bring up, Honorable Speaker, there is a member who is disturbing me here. Honorable Speaker. Mr. Honorable Speaker, I'm requesting honorable members who are here to see the sense that he's continuing with his masters. This is a progressive person. It means he's focused for a better future, Honorable Speaker. Education is power. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Jessica Otieno.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for also granting me permission to also air my views on this report. Mr. Speaker, this is a very, very, very important report, and I believe that this House, it is a very special report, because this report is dealing with education of our children and our people. Mr. Speaker, first, before I say anything about the nominee, I want to appreciate our chair of education, for well-articulated reading of the report, and also say thank you and appreciate the vice chair for effective seconding of this report. Mr. Speaker, I will not forget to also appreciate the Secretariat who sat down to go through this report after the effective perusing of the report by the honorable members. And they have actually made it up to this room today. Mr. Speaker, I want to talk about the nominee, Mr. Stephen Othira. Mr. Speaker, I want also to confirm to this House that during the vetting of Mr. Othira, I was present in this House, and I'm counted as one person who vetted Mr. Othira. Mr. Speaker, I want to confirm also to this House that all that has been said by the members who have talked about Mr. Othira and what is in the report is correct. Mr. Othira presented himself in this House as a very, very, very knowledgeable person. He was well dressed. When he was asked questions, he was answering questions articulately and with prowess, Mr. Speaker, to show that he knew what he was talking about. Mr. Speaker, I also want to agree with the members who have talked about Mr. Othira's progression of education. It is indeed showed in the report, and we saw it from himself when he was talking, because we confirmed that what was in the report or what he had in these documents were true, because there is not any single minute that he was asked a question related to what we had on the document that he was fumbling. He was going straight to the point and answering what we had before us. So Mr. Othira is somebody that, first, before I say that, I want to also thank Her Excellency, the Governor, for having thought it wise that this education department should have somebody of Mr. Othira's caliber, especially on the side of vocational training. Honorable Mr. Speaker, after thanking the Governor, I want also to say that we all know, Mr. Speaker, that especially the committee members of education who have had a chance of visiting our vocational centers, we have always come back very, very sad people, not happy at all, because of the structure that we see, even the number of the teachers who are supposed to be there. Mr. Speaker, we have always realized that our vocational centers are even not having the standard, the number that is required to attend the college, simply because, Mr. Speaker, we had not attained the aptitude for the vocational training. So I believe that it came up as a concept that is going to help our afford to go for higher education, going to the universities. And these people before them, some of them, but their brains were misused. Some of our people who are going to in this country have been looked down upon. So you find that somebody who has very talent of even innovating something fails to get it because he has not had the chance of being trained in that or being upgraded in the talent that he has. So, Mr. Speaker, with all those few remarks, I want to ask this House to please, and it is my prayer that we adopt this report and give Mr. Othira the appointment that.
Honorable Awedi.
Let me start by saying that this education department at Kotionditi Primary School as the head teacher. Honorable Speaker, when the reporting time, when the to school, the teachers started reporting in time. The discipline was high in that school again, and everything. And even if you look at his CV, somebody who is equal to the task is going to give us the result. This is somebody.
Mr. Speaker, allow me to join my colleagues in adopting this review. Is to put enough money in our next budget, because Mr. Othira is going to be the counting officer. I had members that if you really want vocational training in different wards in Homa Bay County to move forward, we must start putting enough money in those VCT, Mr. Speaker. Like in my case, in my ward, I have two. I have Kotino Polytechnic and I have Rangi Polytechnic. Students who have gone there, Mr. Speaker, they are able now to afford 3 meals in a day. If you're not going to look vocational training seriously, Mr. Speaker, then I want to say you are going nowhere. So let us put enough money, Mr. Speaker, so universities.
As they are growing, Honorable Speaker, to vet him, Honorable Speaker. I also had an opportunity to be, I'm a career teacher, Honorable Speaker, and having had the opportunity to interact with him in different spheres, I know that he is bringing new energy to this department, Honorable Speaker. And just as Honorable Nyangi has said, Honorable Speaker, that however good a person will be, if we don't give them enough resources to help articulate on the issues that we want from that department, Honorable Speaker, then we may not achieve much. So as a Department of Education, as an assembly, Honorable Speaker, I know, because I am supporting the adoption of this report so that he is appointed, and I am sure from the faces that I am seeing people are very happy and approving of him, Honorable Speaker. This is one person who will be given the support, the necessary support that is needed, so that that department, the vocational, especially the vocational training centers, Honorable Speaker. We just had a report here, and if we have a good person who is ready to implement it as the chief officer and as an accounting officer, Honorable Speaker, I know we will achieve much for everything that is in that department. Otherwise, I support and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Uma. Honorable Joas Kirikakiri.
Honorable Speaker, thank you. I want to thank the Committee of the Youth. Such a good report on an individual. We are young, as we were going for our Form 4 education, Honorable Speaker, that success in the Honorable Speaker, we are to the society that we have so many whom does is this and this. Honorable Speaker, in one way or the other, even our fingers are not equal, Honorable Speaker. God did this in a way to express to us that not all of us can be equal, Honorable Speaker. Just not for those who have gone to Form 4 and even manage the E. We still have those, Speaker. It can only be molded in a vocational, that our vocational state, it can only be molded in a vocational, that our vocational status work for the.
I'm not seeing any buzzer. Well, let me give Honorable
sana. Wanakamati wametuletea walimu tulikuwa tunasoma kwenye alama, walimu tulikuwa tunasoma kwenye alama. Nani angependa kuwa mwalimu? Hakuna mwenye atasema nataka kuwa mwalimu. Sababu gani? Wanasema walimu hawana pesa, na hiyo ndio imesumbua watu wetu sana. Mpaka saa hii utapata mtu anaenda anasomea anaenda anasoma kitu yenye hata hawezi fanya naye kazi mahali. Kwa hivyo nataka nijiunge na wagatuzi wenzangu kwenye hili bunge ili tuone hii kazi ya mwalimu Steve inaenda kuleta maana sana kwenye kaunti yetu ya Homa Bay. Ningependa sana pia kuwapongeza makarani zetu. Naona mmeleta mjadala mzuri sana kwenye chumba hili la bunge, na katika orodha ambayo mmeleta siku ya leo, mmefanya kazi nzuri. Lugha yenu ni ile mchanganyiko mufti kabisa, na ile yenye huwezi hata kupata mahali popote. Naweza kusema kwamba hata vile unaona hii mjadala imeletwa leo, kuwa mwalimu sio rahisi, na kama ulikuwa darasa la 4 mlifunga hiyo kinukuu. Ningependa kusema kwamba huyu mwalimu alianzia tu kama akaenda akakuwa mwalimu mkuu wa shule kwenye shule ya msingi penye Mheshimiwa Eric alikuwa anaisomea. Na nataka nikuambie haku yake akasema kuja fanyia watu wetu kazi. Kwa hiyo inamaanisha yeye ndiye ametengeneza hao wote wenye unaona siku hii ya leo kama mfanyikazi wa Homa Bay County. Si unaona tu kazi itakuwa nywe kwenye alama ya kinukuu mwana speaker. Kwa hivyo leo hii naungana na Mwalimu Steve apewe kazi afanye na aende akuwe mkuu wa Kinara. Nimeshukuru.
Thank you, Honorable Evelyn. Honorable Molo.
This morning I had a very bad dream that the speaker failed to turn up and our report could not be presented. But I want to say now I am very satisfied that the report has been brought, carried out so enthusiastically in the House. Mr. Speaker, and this county will progress even further, and we shall ever be #1. Regarding the debate that has been here, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank all the members who debated. Mr. Speaker, all that they said are true, according to what we saw during the vetting process and even during report writing, Mr. Speaker. We saw this as a man who merits this appointment, Mr. Speaker. And I want to thank the Governor of Homa Bay, Her Excellency Gladys Nyasuna Wanga, for having thought it wise to give us a second manager in the name of a chief officer in the education department. Mr. Speaker, education has a lot of challenges and many, many changes. So if we just have one officer, one section of the department, but because we are going to have an author who goes through and becomes our next Mr. Speaker. Next, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, honorable members, for a fruitful at 2:30 p.m.